I want to give a big shout out to the parents out there who genuinely give a damn about their kids. Like, y'all don't use y'all kids as a means to feel significant. You don't use your kid as some sort of bragging tool all over social media. You want your kid to thrive. You want your kid to succeed. You don't compete with your children. You don't see them as a threat to you and what you got going on, but instead you want to invest into your baby. Shout out to you. And therefore, shout out to this mama right here who was about to cook. And she is cooking with extra butter. You understand me? She is letting that thing sizzle for real on this one. We need to get back to a place where parents are doing their job, which is to guide their children. Instead of allowing their children to be indoctrinated, instead of sitting back and cowering to the system, or God forbid, being a part of this woke foolishness, especially when you find parents who are being propagandized the most, right? This is a mother, but also a quote unquote black mother who is saying the thing that all of us, most of us sane people have been thinking, but many have been afraid to say. So I want to get into this video right now, and we're really going to unpack it. I only saw a segment of it, so I'm watching all of it in real time with you guys. As soon as I saw what I saw and I saw the caption, I said, you know what? I want to do a real-time reaction to this. So let's get into it. Let's get into a common sense mama defending her babies against this woke foolishness.
It's Coffee Monska. I'm a mom of three. I grew up with a mom who was on drugs. When I was a kid, I lived in government housing in a one-bedroom apartment. My mom, sister, and I shared a bed. When I was in junior high, my dad took us from her because he was worried about us moved to the burbs. But even then, I had challenges. A kid harassed me for months with racist jokes, like get to the back of the line and things like that. And eventually he burned my hand with the striker in science class that you can still see on my hand today. Despite all of this, from an early age, I knew that I wanted to be a lawyer and that nothing would stop me. Yet in college, I was given messages similar to those in this ethnic studies bill, that whites and systematic racism would hold me back. I began to doubt myself and to distrust all white people, including my friends.
Here's the thing. When you push this sort of rhetoric, even if you are somebody who believes that you are genuinely helping the person that you are, reminding of systematic racism, oppression, the white person is, against you, whatever, you are actually destroying that person's self-esteem. You're destroying this individual's ability to view themselves in a powerful position, right? Like, imagery is everything. If you do not have imagination, I believe it is impossible to become what you desire to become, right? If you don't see yourself becoming something more than you are in this moment, forget about it. So when you start to crush that imagination of a young child or a young adult or whatever it is by perpetuating these messages, the white man is out to get you. You can do nothing for yourself. The world is against you. You are unable. You have to work 10 times as hard just to get, half of what they're getting. That sort of messaging is the disempowering message. That is the marginalizing message. You are literally creating a complex within an individual. And that's my biggest problem with the entire woke ideology. It's my biggest problem with the isms, the racism, sexism, homophobia, patriarchy, matriarchy, whatever the hell. It's not that I don't recognize that these things exist, right? And that they're still alive, but instead that they are not the biggest issue. Matter of fact, the biggest issue is not a system out there. As I say, it is a system in here. It is your belief system. You understand me? It is not the system of inequity and injustice that is out there somewhere, the boogeyman. It is your belief system, your thought process, your habitual thinking that then leads to your habitual actions. So if you're planting the seed of you are unable to do, you are oppressed. When you see yourself as a victim, you're done. You're finished already. Before you even started, you're already finished. Let me fix my posture. Before you were even started, you are already finished. You are cooked royally. There is nothing you can do when you think to yourself that I am unable to become what I want to become. She wanted to be a lawyer, but they told her that it was going to be impossible. They likely told her, and I don't even know what she's going to say after this, they likely told her that those white men are never going to allow you into the club, etc. So even if she was living in the context of the democratic laws known as Jim Crow, the atrocity that was the Democratic plantation, even if she was living in that context, if she had at the least had a mentality that I can do it, she would say, man, to hell with them white men that aren't going to let me into their, into their goody boy club. I'm going to create this for myself, by myself. To hell with that. If she could have taken that one experience as a kid with, her bully who was being racist towards her, who was just a child who was expressing their own inner hatred, she could have said, white people are the worst, white people are terrible, look what they did to me, right? I've been in situations as a kid where people were racist towards me, but I've also been in situations where people targeted me who looked just like me. I've had more of those situations of people who target me who look just like me and were being as racist as any white person had never been to me, right? Saying things about my complexion, saying things about how I look, calling me a monkey, even though self-hatred is real, okay? And it expresses itself through those type of means, right? They try to say self-hatred is a message like this. No, this is a message of genuine empowerment. I believe you can. That is empowerment. Unfortunately, we've lost our damn minds. And so here we are, basically having to have cis speak for us.
This type of teaching is psychological abuse and can cause people of color to question their sanity and perception of reality. It's what Musa Al-Gharbi calls benevolent racism. Although there's good intent, it attributes virtually all agency and power to white people. This ethnic studies bill is an example of benevolent racism. In the exact language of the statute, it says that it analyzes ways in which race and racism has been and continue to be a cultural and political force, and it talks about the connection of race to the stratification of other groups. It says that people who look like me and my kids are at the bottom of this hierarchy. My son was a 3.8 GPAs in APA classes and calculus, all while playing sports and working is at the bottom of this hierarchy, and it doesn't make sense.
Inferiority complexes are created with this sort of rhetoric, folks. When you are telling a child that they cannot, what do you think you're registering? You think you're registering, oh, well, just watch out for the white. No, what you're saying to them is that you're less than that white man right there. So they walk around with their head low. They walk around feeling insecure. They project their insecurity most times nowadays as anger, as racism towards that group of people. Like, look at the type of stuff people can get away with saying about white folks. The fact that they can even say white folks so liberally. If I say white people and I say black people, which one seems the most triggering? The conditioning is so deep. It's so deep, and sis is preaching right now. My baby, who is doing the absolute most right now, who is thriving, is supposed to see themselves as less. Oh, but that's not what the white liberal, that's not what they think they're doing. They think they're just, essentially setting you up to understand the systems that are against you. What you're doing is you are disempowering. You are stripping away the power, because whoever it is that you blame and you point a finger at is the person that you were giving power to, period. If I blame my mama, my daddy, I'm giving my power. If I blame the government, I blame my employer for why I am where I am in life, I have just given over my power. Look at the white man. The white man is to blame for X, Y, and Z in my life. There goes my power. It's a damn shame, folks. It's a damn shame.
In conclusion, people will say that they need to see themselves in the curriculum. No, they don't. They need to learn to read and write, and only half of Minnesota students are proficient in that. Education is emancipation. There's too many cultures and ethnicities to teach them all. Kids should learn their culture from their family and friends, and unfortunately, due to this curriculum that pits them against each other by race, this is less likely. I want people of color to know that they are not fragile and they're not stuck at the bottom of some caste system, and that they can achieve as I did.
Oh my God. No, this needs to be the most viral video of 2025 so far. That needs to be my God. Wow. My spirit is quickened in that moment. Okay. So, I do want to highlight the danger, the genuine danger. I'm not saying that hyperbolically. I mean what I say what I mean. There is a danger in even offering up such curriculum with those types of teachings, right? And I didn't even realize this as a kid. It's like when we had African American Student Union on campus, that was inherently separating us, creating a complex in us to say that you must be separated, you must be in your own little group or your own little space, right, away from the white students or, everybody else on campus. And we need to give you these special messages in this special little room, this special little safe space where you can be black. So you're now doubling, tripling down on blackness, as opposed to, what was fought for millennia, to integrate and to bring the peoples together. We instead are now choosing to reverse that entire system. I know those people out there, black and white and everybody in between, who believe that segregation is an answer. I'm not one of those people, because in the reality of the full context of human history, we have always integrated. We have always, that doesn't mean we didn't war against some people, we didn't hate some tribes or whatever, but it wasn't this thing of the obsessiveness of race. It might have been around customs, it was around tribes, etc., right? But the fixation of race is an idea that was later on adopted, and we are now reversing to go to we're going to the worst parts of it. Separate yourself based on this, right? See the other person as evil. See the other person as less than you. See the other person as inferior than you. See yourself in the lens of race, not as a human, not as a child of God, none of those things. To hell with your humanity. To hell with your uniqueness, the complexity of who you are as a human being, the individuality of you, the uniqueness of your own being is out the door and replaced with a skin color. That is the very thing that brother MLK fought against his entire life. That is the pulpit that he stood on, in essence, right? That is the soapbox that he preached on. Let's not judge off of this. How about let's go with, let's try character. Let's go for character. I want to base our relationship off of character. I want to base our interactions off of your character. That's how I move through life. I don't look to your skin color to see the type of person that you're going to be. Unfortunately, I do have biases, but they are created through stereotypes, and stereotypes oftentimes have truth, right? As they say, pattern recognition. Unfortunately, if I see certain things and certain behaviors, I'm likely going to go to, oh, this is likely this type of person, but I at least do my best to get to know them for myself, or to really just peep those habits, peep those characteristics, etc., so I can come to my own conclusions. Sometimes I'm wrong, sometimes I'm off, sometimes I'm on. But I'm not going to stop and start at your skin color. That's what we're talking about. When we say race, we're talking about skin color. Folks, it's so backwards. It's so backwards. It's so regressive, and it's problematic. And the fact that we have powerful voices like this is what shows me that, oh, it's real. Oh, we're here for all of it. Because that's why, again, I go hard. Like, you see this, the intensity behind it is because when you've been shackled mentally, right, or physically, when you finally get to a place of freedom, you appreciate your freedom more than people have been free their entire lives. I was shackled in the ideology of race, shackled in the ideology of you have been colonized, shackled in the ideology of your people have been perpetrated, shackled in the ideology of, you must be, your allegiance is to the Democratic Party. I was bound to these beliefs, and they kept me as a victim where I could not, for the life of me, build the life that I desired. I felt that I was unable to do things that I felt a calling towards. I always wanted to be the person you now see, to be able to speak to people, to be able to, communicate a message, to be able to resonate, to be able to entertain, to be able to do all these things, educate it. But I thought to myself, but I'm black, I'm going to have to work harder, and just for a little bit, is it even worth it? But I can't even do it. And they're racist, and Mr. Beast has a bigger platform, and Logan Paul and Jake Paul, they're going to have a bigger platform than me because they're white, and it's all because of black. That was the only thing in my way. There was no white man outside of my door. There was no white man who was putting their hand in front of this camera, right? Who was pushing away this microphone. That did not exist. It did not exist. The only thing that was in my way was me and the beliefs that I was choosing to entertain and engage in simply. So the fact that we got mamas like this on this earth, and I know they're going to be watching, mamas and daddies, and I was going to say everything in between. Ain't no in between. There's a mommy and there's a daddy. Simple as that. Thank you. Thank you for doing the most important work in the world. Thank you.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a hardening heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 365, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising. They see your light shine, that's why they so frustrated. Even the sofa in Nova Scotia will win the bagels. I couldn't get them ease on the grease, why they burning up. Money growing trees, feel a breeze, still you show.